What's going on YouTube? This is Amesbro, and for this video we have a 2-for-1 as far as game reviews, both for the system, the PlayStation 4, and both are launch titles. The games are Knack and the PSN game Resogun. And one really shines and one kinda... Let's discuss Knack first. Knack was created by Mark Cerny, one of the architects behind the PlayStation 4. And it tells the story of a professor, a young boy named Lucas, and a man named Ryder, as they embark on a 13-chapter journey to stop Victor and Katrina from potentially causing world domination. Lovely, isn't it? Alright. Now, if that story sounds pretty simplistic, well, it's pretty much the story behind the game. It's 13 chapters long. Chapters are about 5 parts apiece, so you're looking at about 65 levels through the entire game. Here's your basic mechanic, just so we're clear. Knack starts about this big, and his life bar starts about like this. By the end of the level, he grows to be about this tall, if not taller, and his life bar grows to be about like this. Now, this sounds great in theory. What you come to find out in the game is, well, having a life bar almost doesn't mean squat. As you get bigger, the enemies get stronger. As the enemies get stronger, you take way more damage than normal. Especially considering there's one plot twist that comes up later in the game, but I'll leave that for you to find out. Your objective is, through every level, to get from point A to point B. And for every section, to do the same thing. Along the way, you have to utilize different traits throughout the game, be it ice, be it wood, be it metal, whatever, to be able to trigger certain events throughout the level and try to progress through different sections. Graphically, the game is absolutely beautiful, and the attacks work well that you're given. There's 3. One is a cyclone, one is a, we'll call it like a smart bomb, and there's another one, but fuck me, I can't actually remember what it does. The 2 you're pretty much going to be using are the smart bomb and the gust of wind. Really, you're going to be using the smart bomb for most of the game. Throughout the game, the player can collect sunstones, which can be used to do 2 things. One is power Knack special abilities, and eventually, if you get the right gadget, can help you power Knack up as far as his health bar goes. Speaking of gadgets, through the course of the game, they do give you gadgets to build. There's just one thing. Not all the parts for a gadget are in one level. They're scattered throughout different levels sometimes. And there's no guarantee you're going to get all the gadgets built in one playthrough. Matter of fact, with the way the treasure chests are hidden in the game, which we'll get to in a second, you may find that you don't get a gadget, you get a relic. And the relics are used, if you get, I think it's like 20, you can use another version of Knack, which is used if you complete a level with him as that one form, you get a trophy for it, which is cool as replay value. My only thing is, why don't you just try and make it so that you have like one gadget, focus on one gadget at a time instead of going, okay, can I get this piece, and then you find out that you're not getting that piece until another level, if at all. You can literally be down to one piece for a gadget, and you can't get it because you're getting a relic that you know full well because of its rarity, you're probably not getting the rest of the game. That's just the way the game works. The camera is another problem, and it's one that you may or may not hear much about, depending on who does the review. See, the camera is what I like to call fixed 2D in a 3D game. So you're somewhere between 2D and 3D, like 2.5D. Because here's what happens. Whatever direction the camera's facing is the direction you're going to go. Be it right to left, left to right, up, down, or sometimes overhead. Which is a whole other problem sometimes, because depth perception can be an issue. One big thing the game makes you learn early, because you use it often, is the double jump. Now, the double jump is usually used for getting to hard to reach items or places that you might want to explore that couldn't be used, obviously jumping normally. Well, in this game, it's virtually a requirement to get from point A to point B. That's not really good programming. That just tells you that the program's got fucking lazy. To me, a double jump should only be used, like I said, to get to hard to reach places or to maybe find a secret here and there. But they make it a necessary mechanic, unfortunately. No, that doesn't work. They do put some other gizmos in the game, such as riders' platforms that you'll find later in the game. The tricky part about this is that sometimes they'll be made to act on their own, so to speak, which will make jumping really fun. But by the way, in case you're wondering, here's a general way that a level, or a section of a level goes. Ready? You go into a section, there's some type of barrier up, you knock out the enemies, you move on to the next section. Sometimes the game pulls this stunt on you though, where you have to fight like 3 waves of enemies before you can get through the next section. Because of how much damage they can do to you though, whew! Oh, and don't get me started on the checkpoint system. You might think that the game will start you where you died, right? Nope. Wherever they deem the last checkpoint is. Which if it's further back from where you actually died, and you have to walk all the way back there, the frustration level builds and builds and builds in what turns out to be a 10 to 11 hour game. And believe me when I tell you, that can be a problem. I'm not one to usually bitch about a game's difficulty, but generally speaking, when you're playing the game on easy, it should be, easier than it is. I mean, goddamn. And by the way, yes, there's a difficulty level that I played this game on, and it was still frustrating as piss. 13 levels, 5 sections each, and I wanted my damn hair out at some points. I had to literally stop playing. It took me 5 days to beat it, but it probably, if I didn't get frustrated with it, probably would have taken me less time. And chances are it will take you about 5 days dedicated to beat this game. Now the question is, do I recommend you paying $60 for it? No. I suggest if you're going to get this game, wait for a price drop. It should be probably about $30 before you actually buy this game. Because it's going to be 10 to 11 hours of frustration and annoyance. I will promise you that. So, something with Corn Jack said it best when he did his live stream. When he said, the game looks gorgeous, but something went wrong here. And something did go wrong. The camera's a little wonky. Actually, it's a lot wonky, because if you're walking towards the camera, you can be blindsided and not realize it. And that's a huge, huge issue in a game that, even on its easiest difficulty level, like I said, is going to annoy the shit out of you. Do not play this game on normal thinking you're God's greatest gift to gaming, because this is going to frustrate the hell out of you. If you're one, they say this game is geared towards kids. It's supposed to be like a kids-friendly game. That's one other thing, real quick, while I'm thinking of it. Yeah, it's supposed to be a kid-friendly game, right? I mean, it's rated E10. Yet, here's the female antagonist, Katrina. She has breast augmentation that looks like this game should be... I mean, okay, I'm sorry, it's E10, but this game should be like closer to almost teen the way... I mean, yeah, she's clothed, but still, Jesus Christ. What were they thinking with that? And you gotta love how they make her a freaking ninja in the whole goddamn game. But anyway, that's a whole other story. On a scale of 1 to 10, we're gonna give this about a 5. Like I said, $30 should be what you get this at, if you get it at all. It's good for showcasing what the PS4 can do, but I would not recommend it full price. Oh, and there's one other issue I had. At certain points during the game, now I don't know if it was my disc or what, because this is what I played basically exclusively to beat the game, and make sure I had this done for a review for you, but there was some slowdown issue. Now I don't know if it was the disc was getting beat to hell or what, but the fact of the matter is there was some slow up issues on this game, and that's the thing you should watch out for if you're playing through this game. It's pretty much non-stop. Okay? So there's that game. Second game, and this one I can highly recommend. Resogun. If you're a fan of games like Defender, if you're a fan of side-scrolling shooters, Jesus Christ, get this game. It's free if you're a PS Plus member, and it would be worth it if you had to pay $10, $15 for it. Yes, it's only a 5-level game, but I promise you, it's 5 levels that you're going to be on the edge of your seat trying to make sure that you don't get blown up or that you're, trying to save humans. The the voice that comes through the speaker says, "Save the last human," and that is your goal. There are 10 humans for every level, so grand total there's 50. Okay? Your objective is to save each and every last one of them. And they give you a couple different ways to do this. There's a boost, which is basically like a charge attack that allows you to charge through enemies and they can't hurt you while you're in that mode. There's an overdrive that will be your savior, I promise you. And there's also bombs. The bomb is basically a fuck everything up weapon, and it goes all the way around the cylinder. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. This game is not a 2D game. This is, well, it is a 2D side-scroller, but it's more like a cylinder. As you go through the game, and here's your basic objective. As you go through a level, you're going to be trying to shoot up these enemies that are in this green hue. When you shoot them, and when you clear them all out, they're going to open up one of the cages of one of the humans. Your job is then to find the human, pick it up before it can get killed or abducted, and then send it up to the escape pod. But be careful, because if you wait too long, they'll either be abducted, or if they don't make it out of their cube in time, they'll just die in there on the spot. And that brings a whole new level to the game, because there actually is a trophy for getting all the humans in the game. Now, I wasn't lucky enough to do that. And this game does have co-op. Unfortunately, and this is one of the few things I can condemn this game for, it doesn't have local co-op. All the co-op that you can do in this game is online. So that's a bit of a because when I was watching Cornchak's live stream when they were playing, he was going to play Resogun. He wanted to play it with a friend of his who was actually at his live stream. And then they found out the co-op was online, which kind of sucked. But it's still a really fun game. Like, you're going to sit there, and first you're going to probably want to just play it just to see if you can beat all 5 levels, and I obviously did tonight. I beat this game on its final level, and then I turned around now because I wanted to see if I could beat the final level of Resogun, and I did. So you're really going to want to play this game. Yes, it's a short game. It's 5 levels. But what people have said about the game as far as it being a fun game, oh yes. If I will argue if there was as much thought put into the 13 levels that was in Knack as there was in the gameplay of a 5-level PSN game, which ironically I checked it. My percentage on Resogun as far as trophies goes is better than it is on frickin' Knack. And this is going back Sunday, by the way. So we are going to give Resogun I'm going to say a 9. I'm not getting that extra point off I'm not getting that point off mainly because no local co-op. Come on now. Yes, I understand we want to push online gaming, but people still want to play with their buddies that are at their house. You know, I mean, I like online. I do like online, the idea of online multiplayer, and I'm not shitting on it. But what I'm going to tell you is, people still want to play with their friends that are actually, physically in the room with them. That's all. What's so hard about that? So, in conclusion, friends, here's the way we go. Definitely play Resogun. It's free if you're a PlayStation Plus member, and most people probably, if you're buying a PlayStation 4, you're probably re-upping your PlayStation Plus at some point anyway, so definitely get that. Like I'm going to reiterate this, Knack I'm kind of on. It's a 5 for me. I definitely would recommend the Resogun. So, that is your PlayStation 4 doubleheader for the night. And I will maybe talk to you all in the very near future with another review. Take it easy, gang.